Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can shine. Views from the friend zone, it's your time. We giving you real talk, so stay on your grind. We just trying to laugh and have a good time. We dropping them jewels so that all our people can shine.
Yeah. Welcome to another edition of Views from the Friend Zone podcast. It's your boy Real Talk Marv, who I got in the building with me.
It's your boy Cliff Brockman.
It's Reem.
Yeah. So Reem's family, I'm happy to have him on, you know what I'm saying? A good supporter, a businessman, you know. Reem is all the way lit. Reem got his hands in everything, you know what I mean? So Reem, let him know the product you're here to promote and just a little bit about yourself.
I have a swim line called More Flush Swimwear. It's kind of like moving kind of well nowadays. You know, we custom make everything.
Yeah.
We kind of like someone has an idea, we just bring it to life. You know, we try to reach out to anybody, everybody, any size, any shape. You know, and it works out. Because it brings originality to like swimwear. You don't have to have the same thing someone else has on.
Yeah.
Whether it's trunks, whether it's bathing suit, whether it's anything, we create it.
Okay.
So you know.
Yeah, I have like the more buckets. Cliff got a couple of suits. You actually wearing a hoodie right now, More Flesh hoodies. So, what made you come up with the name More Flesh? Give them a little background about it. Obviously, it plays with your name and stuff like that, but what was the motivation?
Because my last name is More. First, we started with Flesh.
Yeah.
And, you know, I'm big on, like, you know, taking my name, like, you know, letting my name be known, like, you know, because I think, like, your name lives forever.
Yeah.
So I kind of added the name to it, to add it to the flesh and put, you know, swimwear in it.
Yeah.
Because, you know, I'm a person that like to travel. I like to kind of like, you know, go away all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like every time I go away, I couldn't really find, you know, trunks. And I'm pretty sure, like, if I did find trunks, somebody else has it. Or if I do have, like, a style, I go there. I'm not exclusive. Everybody is kind of wearing the same thing.
Yeah.
I have one, so it's kind of like I'm not standing out. I'm just, you know, just a regular person. So I figured let's create something that, you know, the people that I'm going through the same thing I'm going through couldn't now have a way out and have somewhere to go to kind of, you know, stand out and be different.
Yeah. It's always nice to, like, you know, have exclusive look. Like, everybody can tailor things to their own particular feel and look, but it also, it's always nice to be in a spot. You look clean. You look well dressed, and then like nobody else is rocking what you got.
He's kind of being shy and humble. I think it's because it's the first time you're on a podcast, but the material and the clothing line is fire. If it was something where it was average or whatever, I tell him, it's whatever too. I got all the buckets, all the stuff, so I wear it on vacation.
Yeah.
I promote it at the parties or whatever, and then his parties is over the top.
Yes,
it's over the top fire.
Yes.
You went to one, the last one. It was it was next level. You know, he had Love and Hip Hop people there. And you know, he's doing, it's a black brand on the come up, but it's the material is good, the swimsuits are good, and everything is good about it. And like he said, a lot of times it's hard to find swim trunks at different sizes. If you 200 plus whatever, it's hard to find a good trunks and swimsuits, even with the ladies, whatever.
He's not doing justice, like, you know. The swimsuits for the ladies is fire.
Oh, fire.
He always had
100%.
nothing but the best woman promoting his stuff, and everything is definitely solid. It's definitely nice swimwear for your summer looks. But, you know, you also doing customizing other stuff. See, your vest had the more flesh on it.
You got the vest that we brought out.
Oh, I didn't know about the vest. The vest is new.
And the hoodies.
The track suits.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I brought some stuff with me.
Yeah, show it to the people, because listen, at the end of the day, when we bring on guests, we try to dedicate the show for the guests for the first, you know.
Yeah.
These are some trunks that we made, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
You can put it up for the camera so they can
See, that's nice.
Oh, that's nice.
Nice.
Yeah,
I like
that's
it.
nice.
And we kind of like we added, like, so you can bring, like, I have like a pouch with it now.
Okay.
Okay.
So we trying to.
That's
like,
new.
Yeah, because you know, like you know, pouches are kind of in right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So we'll bring the trunks and then we add like a little pouch to it. So
okay.
You could kind of just like.
I gotta get that. So you know, you already know. Like,
Yeah.
trust me, I'm in the business of supporting my people.
Nice.
Like, we have the red with the white, with the red, with the blue.
Nice.
Did you bring any bucket hats to show people too?
Oh no, I didn't bring no buckets with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we kind of just like, you know, you can't,
I like the designs though.
Yeah, no, like, you know, with the pouch on your arm, you kind of put your stuff away.
Yeah.
You going swimming, you don't, you know, you have to keep it in your pocket. You can put it in here.
Yeah.
And it's big enough. It has like different like little like
Pockets and stuff.
pockets, and
Yeah.
you would kind of just like, you know,
Okay.
it's different.
That's what's up. So let them know the actual, like, you know, the IG, the website, you know,
Yeah,
how you
IG
taking orders and stuff.
The IG is More Flesh Swimwear. The website.
Spell it out for them because, you know, people might go look for MORE and then not find it.
Yeah, you're right. It's MOORE, Flesh, FLESH, Swimwear, SWIMWEAR. That's the IG. It's the website is www.moreflesh with 2 O's swimwear, and you could place your order. If you have like a something where you want custom, you could DM us. Somebody answer, and we kind of just like, you know, give us your ideas, and we'll bring it to life.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you if you can, it's nice to, as Black people, I feel like we need to travel more. We need to see the world more. You know what I'm saying? So it's the winter time, but start preparing for your spring and summer trips now. You know what I mean?
Of course,
And
traveling
then
is all
also,
year long.
We're right around Christmas time. You know, if you got that trip in your head, you got that plan, you want to trip, get some gifts, get some More Flesh Swimwear for, you know, Christmas gifts. You know what I mean? But it's a nice time to pick up stuff, start planning your spring, you know, your spring trips, you know, your spring break for some of the people and stuff like that, even early summer trips, you know. And then also when you shoot for those kind of things, you know, start working out. You know what I'm saying? You start like, you know, I got the swimwear. I want to look good in my swimwear, and that'll be your focus.
Yeah, like, you know, like just to see like even the material, like it's stretchy. It's like, you know, it's real good material.
Yeah.
It's, you know, this is like one of the swimsuits that we have for the ladies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we kind of just like, you know, create looks, and then we have our own different prints, and we kind of just try to bring something different to the game.
How many years have you been doing your swimsuit line?
This is year number 2.
Nice. So you kind of started almost around the pandemic time.
Around the pandemic.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, because like people travel all year round.
Yeah.
You know, even in the winter, people still love to just get a peace of mind and go somewhere.
Yeah.
It's a fact.
So it's like all year round, you know, people need swimwear.
Yeah.
You know?
And people love escaping somewhere cold to go to somewhere warm. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
Like last year, right before the pandemic, we was all in Aruba. It was Aruba. We was all together.
We went to Aruba as a family trip.
And then the next year, we all Clifford didn't go with us, but we all was in Bahamas.
Yeah.
This is like the first year in the last couple of years we don't have like a family trip kind of set up. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of moving pieces are going on. But like, support Black brands. It's power in supporting people who look like you. You know what I'm saying? It's power in making, you know, a Black brand, a brand of people coming to you lit, just like we want to make everybody else stuff lit. The Balenciagas, we do so much free promotion for people who just be like, yeah, I don't really make my stuff for these people. And they'll flat out say that after we done spent thousands of dollars promoting their brand. You know what I'm saying?
100%.
And also support stuff that you know you're going to be able to use. Keep it a buck. You know you're going to need your swimwear. Dudes, get right with your swimwear. I'm tired of just going on trips and all dudes got is their old basketball shorts and their old basketball tournament gear. That's their only stuff for the summer. Like, yo, you can't, you know what I'm saying, fly somewhere exclusive. You wearing $600 Gucci shoes, and then you wearing basketball Olas and the OCYO t-shirts as your swim gear.
Yeah.
Get right.
And the sweatsuits. The sweatsuits right now because it's getting cold. He got a lot of good sweatsuits for them.
And, you know, the ladies are going to look right, fellas. We got to match that swag.
Same energy.
You know what I'm saying? You look good. Your lady ain't going to hide you on the IG. She ain't going to just show the meals and the drinks and not you if you look good too. You got to get more flesh, more fresh, and you're more flesh. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. More fresh and you're more flesh, right? We got to use, we going to make that slogan buzz. You know what I'm saying?
Even like for the LGBT community, you know, hers and hers.
Yeah.
So you have the family, you have the aggressive. The one want the swimwear, the other one she wants trunks. So
and you can match each other's swag.
But you know, they don't want swimwear, so we create something for them, so they could still have more trunks, but then have a top that still looks that could fit, that could cover them up, and it works.
Yeah.
Works,
And get with them on the customization, right? You see something on the website, you like, that's cool. I'd like a mixture and stuff like that. You give them the right amount of time. Like he said, DM them, get your customized gear.
That's a fact.
You know what I'm saying? You'll take your more fresh even to the next level when it's just exclusively designed for yourself. You know what I'm saying?
And then, when we have the party, like you mentioned, the parties is, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It's an amazing event, We bring good people out, good vibes,
good
everybody
energy.
has a good time.
It was a fantastic time. Fantastic. Year two was just as good as year one was great too. Year two was it was up there. It was up there. It was really good.
It's nice to have the synergies of your swimsuit company, and then also have parties that one, bring people together, allow people to come wear their more flesh. You know what I'm saying?
And then not even just about the party feel about it. It was no violence. It was just a good time. Everybody respect each other's space, and then the energy was there. People was wearing the gear, and then you had just all across the board. Even Love and Hip Hop people hosted it, right? So it was just it was just a great feel, and I enjoyed myself.
20 CEO Nia Lee, Alex came.
Okay,
Alex
for Black Ink,
Yeah, it was really, really a good event. I had a good time.
I had a good time too.
Tell them about the sweatsuits, because it's cold right now. Everybody want a good sweatsuit.
Yeah, the sweatsuits. Oh man, the sweatsuits is big right now, because a lot of people love them.
Yeah,
they love the material. They love how it fit.
Yeah,
it hugs your body.
It holds your body. It makes you feel like, if you got your little muscles, it show your muscles whatever your body. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes you feel good.
You got men and women, right?
Yeah, men and women. And it's on the website. On the website, you go to the website, or even DM, and we set it up and make it happen. We don't just have one way to get in touch with us. You get in touch with us multiple ways. We have an email up there, just different ways, for everybody to get the items that they need for the summer, for the winter, for their trips. Even if you get on the plane, you need a sweatsuit. You traveling, a nice sweatsuit on while you travel. We call it travel essentials.
You always need a good sweatsuit.
That's all I travel in. Is a nice sweatsuit.
So you can be comfortable on the plane,
Yeah. I seen you got that olive green one. I'm gonna cop that one. I like different sweatsuits. And then the thing about it is we got to make brands big, right? Fubu start off from the basement in Queens, right? Mm-hmm. He asked LL Cool J to take a chance on him, and LL Cool J took a chance of in his video. And now
and shouted it out on a Gap commercial. He shouted out for us buyers, keep it on the low in the Gap. So that's the kind of, you're right. That's the kind of thing we have to do. We kind of have to, like I said, in 2023, we're gonna get more fresh and you're more flesh.
100%.
That's something we're gonna run with.
And then the next party, we gotta make limitations where everybody wearing more flesh.
Yeah,
we gotta step that up, because
you ain't telling me how to run your business, but you could possibly get people discounts. You show up in your more flesh. You get a little knockoff at the door.
Yeah,
that's
you know what I'm saying. That kind of works out.
I had thought about something like that, but during that process, when you plan a party, it's even like sometimes when we're doing a party and we have orders, it'd be like, we got to take care of this and this.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's a lot, but it's worth it. At the end of the day, when somebody puts something on and they enjoy it, or they love it, or you get a compliment later on, oh my God, it meets my expectations. And you just feel good. You feel like
And you guys use quality, like Clifford said, quality materials. And that's the point. Sometimes people start off with brands and the quality's not that great, and then it makes you a little hesitant. But this is good quality stuff. This is quality, like every other brand that you really want to support. This has that quality. So thank you for that. You know what I'm saying? We got a shout out to Open Shirt Poppy. He had some family business he had to take care of, but he's in our heart with us, and Open Shirt Poppy is always the life of the party. So he should definitely be back with us the next episode. I want to say happy Thanksgiving. We're most likely not going to see you guys for Thanksgiving. Next Thursday's Thanksgiving. Okay. So, I'm thankful to be able to continue to have this voice and this platform and just have good people around me, good energy. Clifford was telling me earlier, he makes it a priority to protect his energy. And Views for the Friend Zone, we want to be a podcast where you're allowed to express yourself and you hear people that look like you talk about the things you want to talk about. We don't always overly focus too much on like just things that are going on, like TMZ type stuff. We want to be able to take things that are popular social media, entertainment, whatever space, and just being able to be like, let's break that down. And some of the things we're going to talk about this episode pertains to that. So I wanted to do that, happy Thanksgiving shout out real quick. I want to take a moment and send a rest in peace to one of my best friends who I lost a couple years ago. On Monday would have been his 40th birthday. So rest in peace to my boy Danny Murray. It's tough. A couple years ago, he lost his life tragically to domestic violence from his fiance, and
the case never really been
settled. It's tough, and I'm still in contact with his moms, and it's always tough because it's just like
we lost a brother, like a real live brother,
and it's tough because it's just like, man, he just would have been turning 40. Like I just turned 40 this year, and he's been going a couple years, and it's just like life is short. So I want to shout out for him, rest in peace, and happy birthday in heaven. So let's get to the show. Let's get to the topics, and like I said, I want us to be able to just not react to what we see going on, but like really break it down and express things, right? So. Two of the cultural influences in our community that's coming under fire is Kanye West and Kyrie Irving, both on sentiments of anti-Semitism. However, both of their situations are different. The issue is I'm going to keep it real. Kyrie and Kanye are both controversial in how they move.
Yes.
So. But both of their situations are completely different. And there's a term called buck breaking that goes back to slavery, right? And buck breaking is when you take a slave, a rebellious slave, an outspoken slave, and you break him down so that all the other slaves will be like, yo, I got to stay in my lane because I don't want to get broken down that way. And I'm not trying to like bite somebody's style. Someone broke it down recently, and it'll come to me later, but it's just like the whole situation with like Roots, when it was just like, what's your name? He was like Kunta Kinte instead of being Toby, and they broke him down until he said, yes, my name is Toby.
Yeah.
Someone, that's not my original thought. Someone brought that up,
but it's
an example to you.
It's like, to piggyback what you're saying, it's like having the slave, the only one slave in the house. Right, you get that one slave in the house. You give him certain privileges that he could be in the house. He could eat dinner with the family, so he gets all the other ones in order. Yeah. Right, so that's the mentality of.
And you create a snitch.
Yeah. Let me teach one, get one strong, and make sure he keep everybody else in line because he has the same roots and common factor, but he could relate to them more, and he could put them in order. But you just being a slave man owners, just you're just gonna give them rules and regulations to follow.
So the first topic is buck breaking, right?
Okay.
Which is taking that one rebellious slave or a couple rebellious slaves and making that example of them so that other people, will stay in line. And the reason why I say Kanye and Kyrie situations are completely different is because Kanye kind of was just like was beefing with his partners on the business front, and he wanted to kind of like, you know what, I got the money, I know how the infrastructure work. Kanye kind of wanted to break ties with some of these other brands and become the independent. Although Sway told him years ago,
you don't need them.
You could be independent and then scale. And he's like, you don't have all the answers. And then he came back and said, Sway, you might have the answers. But so it's not that I'm not here to defend Kanye. I can't defend Kanye's completely because the crazy thing about these situations is the media loves to take the craziest shit you say and plaster it.
Yeah.
So you'll have an hour or 2 hours of conversation. That's why I try to be careful when I speak to you guys and speak here, because the wrong person might take a clip and can run it and say anything. I try to give enough context to the things I say so you can understand. And so Kanye will say some crazy shit. Kanye will have an hour and a half rant. An hour of it will be, I agree with what Kanye's saying. But he'll have 5 to 10, 15 minutes when he's saying some wild shit we can't really back up. Yeah. And that's what the media is going to run with. So my first question is, are Kyrie and Kanye being made a public example of people of color of having to stay in their place? Or are these guys really out of pocket? So what do you think? From what you know of what you heard of what Kyrie said or what Kanye said, like, you think these guys are out of pocket or there's an example being made of them?
I don't. They're speaking from their how they feel or what they experienced, right? Or what they've learned. So I can't say it's out of pocket because what have they experienced or what have they been through for them to feel this kind of way?
Yeah.
You know, everybody is in different situations, and these guys are millionaires, so they probably looking at things from a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, so they saying things, and Kyrie really didn't really even say that. I think he just posted.
I'm gonna get to that point.
Okay, yeah. So it's like, you know, and even when he did the interview, when they after the game, he was just saying like, I just posted it. I'm not really, you know, that's not who I am, but I'm just saying I saw something that I enjoyed and I just agreed with it.
Yeah.
You know, and Kanye, you know, like you said, Kanye's just trying to separate himself. Kanye was a little arrogant in some of the stuff he said.
Yeah.
You know, but he wants to separate and do his own thing.
Yeah.
So he probably used that anti-Semitic thing to just clear his name. So now he's starting his own thing now.
Yeah. So, I totally agree. Cliff, what do you think?
I think like voice, you know, the situation makes you feel like, you know, it doesn't matter how much money you got, whatever. Too, there's still a fine line you could draw. You got to be able to draw. Like, like having with the Kyrie Irving, he just put, like you say, he just posted something, and then now he has to do all these rules and regulations. It shows you that the NBA, you know, it's a league that, you know, you still got to know your place when it comes to Jews and certain aspects of it. They'll give a player $50 to $100 million, and then all of a sudden you make one post. It's not a little post. It was big. It was a big deal all across the board in terms of what it was. He was on social media, and then he had to do all these things just to come back to play basketball. What does it got to do with basketball?
And
you know,
totally
so
agree.
I don't understand and then Kanye West thing. You know, I work in the mental health field. I always feel like, you know, when the brain is not right, you start just saying things that, you know, that's not always 100% the truth. I'm not saying he's not. I don't think he has a clear vision. Ever since his mom died, to me, he always been up and down, and he's bipolar. Yeah. Somebody who's bipolar is sick. So today they will be fine. They'll be like, oh, everything good, and then tomorrow they act like they never even had that conversation with you. Yeah. That's an illness. So a lot of these things play a factor. I think with Kanye West, I really feel like, and then when you got a bunch of yes people around you, who can you really have a conversation with? Yeah. If I'm the boss and y'all two work for me, or vice versa, and I'm telling you what to do, you're not really listening to me. I'm the boss. Yeah. He was worth $1 billion.
Yeah.
Who lost $1 billion in a week span? That's crazy.
Yeah. So that's the point that I want to make, right? And I totally agree with both of you guys. It's just like, are they out of pocket? No. I think this, with greatness sometimes comes a sense of arrogance, and there's nothing that this world hates than seeing arrogant black men who have money. The world hates that. Mm-hmm. They want us to be completely, yes sir, humble, even when our excellence has shown time and time again. So what made both of their situation worse is their arrogance that they come across with. And don't get it twisted, Kanye and Kyrie, some of the things they do, I can't always support. I can't always jack. I'm not even saying that Kanye was right in his particular situation. Kanye was trying to earn a certain kind of response, and it kind of went in the way that he wants, but then it's just a lot of backlash. In his situation, he's just kind of like letting that whole storm happen, and then he's gonna start fresh. And people's memories with stuff like that is just like, after a while, people just gonna be like, okay. And then when you come out with something fresh and new, people are like, yo, that shit's kind of hot. And they're gonna jump back on the wave. Now, the Kyrie situation, the reason why I have a big problem with the Kyrie situation is Kyrie posted something that has anti-Semitic tropes into it and things of that nature. And you have to really go and do the research and watch the documentary and things and stuff like that. But to the level of jumping through hoops and things of that nature, like it's a prime example of buck breaking, because it's just like, how in this world, if I told you, I'm not anti-Semitic, that's not who I am. I know if I know who I am, and that's what represents me. And you
Jewish leaders and all that.
You apologize. They don't like the energy that you apologize with. You make a donation, and then it's just like, it's not enough. And then it's just like, oh, there's a list of things that you have to do to get back on the court. And then it's just like, hold up. A lot of other people have done bad things and they don't have to jump through the hoops. It's like, why in this particular situation, because it's involved with a very powerful population, the Jewish population, that you're trying to make this example of that is crazy. He's not being charged with domestic violence for beating someone up. He's not being charged with, like, you know, child abuse. He's not being charged with doing any criminal act. He posted a documentary that had a lot of good points about how black people need to be focused, but it did say some things that are quote unquote out of pocket. But for make him jump through these kind of hoops where it's just like, give me the example that he has an indefinite suspension.
And there's been coaches that had racist comments and all this, whatever. They didn't have to do that to come.
Maya Leonard was an NBA player who called someone online. He was recorded calling someone a kike, which is like a Jewish, like, you know, it's like the N-word and kind of stuff like that. And, you know, he got suspended the game and things of that nature, and it was kind of hot for him. And then it's just like, and then they moved on. And I'm like, he was caught saying something that was anti-Semitic, and, you know, he got a suspension. Obviously, Mario Leonard's no longer in the league like that, but he wasn't that good anyway. So sort of like, once you're not that good and then you got controversy out of it, you kind of get pushed to the side. Yeah. Remember another person, the Eagles receiver a couple years ago, I can't think of his name. They had him at a concert, and he was just like, he called the guy like, get this N-word out of my face. They had him recording, I don't F with you N-words. And he was an Eagles receiver in Philly with black teammates and stuff like that. He got suspended for one game, but then they kept him on the team, and then they kept him moving. And after a while, they just kind of like separated him off season. I say that to say this. I'm not downplaying what Kyrie did, but to me, it was just like Kyrie didn't say anything out of his mouth. Kyrie shared a video, didn't give you no context, and then all of a sudden he's making it seem like Kyrie's Hitler.
Yeah, but it shows you like the kind of things you have to watch out for, even as a black man. Even when you work in a work environment and stuff, what you call it, you just cannot do certain things. Still to this day, you could be on top of like Kyrie is a top 10 athlete. Yeah. Regardless of what he's a top 10 athlete. He got to meet with the Jewish leaders. He got to do this. What does that got to do with basketball?
But not only that.
And then it's like but it shows you that even something like the NBA is like, you know, listen, we're not playing that.
And I get it, you know, Kareem. I don't want us to dominate the conversation. Yeah, what are some of your thoughts on this?
I think, you know, when you get money from brands, or brands have contract with brands, you know, you represent that brand. You know, let's be like devil's advocate. Like, you represent that brand, so that brand has a certain expectation of you. Mm-hmm. You don't meet that expectation, you know, they gotta step in and see what's going on. Yeah. For example, right, like Kanye lost all that, Kyrie lost, but Jeff Bezos, he don't have money coming in from anywhere else. He has his own company. He have the documentary there. He don't have to take it down. Yeah. He don't have to worry about who cares or who feels any kind of way.
Kyrie hasn't made one penny off of this documentary. Jeff Bezos is making money off of it. No one said one thing.
Because his money doesn't come from other brands. He has his own thing. Yeah. And all the money comes in, so you don't have to answer to nobody.
The Brooklyn Nets owner, Joseph Tsai, has ties with a company that are doing a genocide to the Muslims in China. The Chinese population has a huge genocide issue, mad controversy back there. He has ties with these people. Oh, wow. No one has even come and said for him to have to make a statement with it.
Yeah, it's just sad because it shows you that, like, you could be on the top of the food chain and they still got restrictions for you. That's why a lot of times, you know, when I was watching the Chicago Bulls series, what was it called? The Last Dance? Last Dance. When I was at Last Dance, and I was kind of frustrated with Michael Jordan a little bit, but now I see why. Michael Jordan a lot of politicians wanted Michael Jordan to back him. Michael Jordan was like, I'm not doing that. Yeah. This is the reason why. You start doing that now Jordan don't become a $1 billion brand the way he wanted to. He's seen it early where it was headed. Yeah. You understand? So a lot of time, you know, I'm a type of person, like, you know, I'll voice my opinion, even where you work with, you'll voice your opinion, but sometimes you gotta know you can't go too far. It's not because you want to be like a sucker or a brown nose or whatever too, but you know there's certain limitations where you know, people gonna act a certain way.
Yeah.
You know, especially being this kind of, just being an African American person in society in general, we're still behind. Yeah. We're still behind.
I think the biggest issue of Kanye and Kyrie is people don't like their arrogance, right? Because when you're arrogant, and don't get it twisted, they have the right to feel how they want. Kanye, like I said, I can't defend Kanye because Kanye's actions was more kind of spiteful because he was trying. Like he said, I could say something anti-Semitic and Adidas can't do nothing about it. He was kind of testing them kind of thing. The Kyrie situation is just like, yo, it's too much power being given. Don't get it twisted. The organizations, I get it. You know, the owners of the league and things of that nature can make you say certain things, but there's no precedent for what they're doing to Kyrie.
I'm sorry.
No, there's no precedent for what they're doing. Let me just finish
Yeah.
it. There's no precedent doing to Kyrie, and the thing about it is just that because Kyrie also had the controversy with the vaccination
and everything.
And Kyrie was also telling people don't come to the bubble because of the whole the political climate that was going around and stuff like that. So Kyrie's one of those. The only thing is Kyrie has a good heart, but at the same time, he's one of those people that just so much it's hard for people to put their neck on the line for him.
Honestly, I would have respected the NBA if they gave him a 2-game suspension where it was like, you know, this is an issue where it's a fine line, like, you know, even just putting up a post, whatever, too, because they said there's a reason why they don't want you to get on motorcycles and stuff, whatever, too, because your investment, right? So now they got the investment speaking, even though it's just a post. A 2-game suspension would have been okay with me. But when you got this guy losing $1.8 million over 8 games, whatever, too, for something just a post, it's like it's a little extreme. You understand what I'm saying? I feel like listen. In every brand, company, whatever, too, sometimes a suspension is needed just to let you know, okay, we don't know exactly what your intentions was, but this is the policy, right? Because that's why, like I said, as an athlete, they really don't want you on motorcycles and stuff like that, and that's what you sign in your contract. So what you go, boom. This is not something he signed in contract, but to give him 8 games, and then he got to meet with all these leaders, and he told you, this is not me. This is you're trying to paint a picture of me. You're trying to make it seem like I'm a racist, and this is not me. And I don't like it. I don't like the NBA for doing that.
Why I have a problem with the way that they're treating Kyrie Irving, it's a huge power play. And, you know, shout out, it's tough, right? Because people are just going to be like, oh, you know, the Jewish are a very powerful population. And, like, you know, they always it's always made uncomfortable when you mention how powerful they are. But the examples are, the proof is in the pudding. For instance, this summer, Anthony Edwards was on video with fans saying he was at the mall and he saw some guys kissing. He's like, "Ooh, I'm not on that agate stuff," right? The league fined him. I think they fined him $100,000, and then he lost no games to play. So how could he do that to a large population? He paid his fine, kept it moving. Everybody sleeping. Kyrie did not even. You don't have a clip of Kyrie saying after. Nothing like that. He posted documentaries just informational. That's just saying there's books out there.
Once he did that press conference and the man blew it up, that's what, you know, once it got in the eyes of the media, that's when it went.
And it's the power of the population that you offended. Even though the LGBTQ population is strong.
It's huge, very strong.
But it didn't make this huge storm. This like, okay, you know what? It was off season. It happened. He paid his fine. Anthony Edwards, no one's hated him. Anthony Edwards' money still the same. He paid a fine and stuff like that. Like, you got to understand, certain fines, like, it hurts people's pockets, but they get to write it off on taxes anyway. So they barely feel it at the end of the day. Because you write off your fines.
Yeah.
It sucks to come out of your pocket, but you also, on the back end, from your taxes, you write that off as well.
I mean, like I said, the whole Kyrie, you know, Kanye West situation was a little different. I feel like he did that basically because he wanted no ties with them, and then he also his thing is I think he's just really passionate of his brand, and it's really not the money thing with him anymore. When you get to a certain level of when you make money, whatever, too, he doesn't even own houses or whatever. He doesn't care about that. He living in his day to day. But I feel like he really wanted to cut ties, and he knew this was the best way to do it. right? The Kyrie situation. I mean, I'm just really disappointed with Adam Silver and the whole NBA because it's like 8 games. He tells you he's not a racist, and it's just a post. People, you never made a mistake before. There's been people that said racist things, and we've heard that in the past in NBA, and they never got suspended 8 games or nothing.
And then my thing about it is, it's interpretation. It's on you to interpret how you felt like what Kyrie did. Kyrie posted a link. To play devil's advocate, in everything you do in this world, you got to give context on it, right? If I post a Ku Klux Klan hood and then someone having a gunshot to the Ku Klux Klan hood, someone could say like, oh man, he's trying to go out there and murder white people.
Yeah.
That's that's how you interpret it. So if I don't give you context, that would be my label. Mm-hmm. Oh, even though it's the Ku Klux Klan hood person and I'm showing a gun to them, it's your interpretation of it. So that's one thing. For Kyrie to get pushed through that level of scrutiny without him saying something, without it coming out of his mouth, is wrong. Because how many people create stuff? For instance, this is another non-original thought, but I had to bring it to the conversation. Someone said, if you post a Jeffrey Dahmer documentary that's on Netflix, does that mean that you support being a serial killer to gay black people? If you posted that, oh, you watching a Jeffrey Dahmer series? No, it's content that's being out there. A promotion would be if Kyrie said like, yo, go out and watch this film. You know what? The Jews are evil. This film will let you know. Then you're like, yo, Kyrie's out of pocket. He took that step above. You got to let people share. The thing about Kyrie that's mistaken is Kyrie doesn't feel like he owes you any explanations on anything that he do.
He need a better PR team too.
Better PR, but the problem is
because he's a top 10 athlete where he has good money, but I definitely could see him not being in the league too long with all these antics. Not saying this was honestly, I felt like his punishment was harsh, but he needs a better PR team. And then the problem is when with people with that kind of money is everybody around you is a yes person, so they don't want to tell you the truth about yourself. Yeah. Like, listen, man, the same way you got in here with hard work, you could destroy everything. Yeah,
who could have took him under his wing and told him like, yo, you need to move a little different, stuff like that. Kobe could have had that conversation with him, but unfortunately, Kobe's not here. Kyrie listened to Kobe like that.
Yeah, of course, you respect him.
So Kobe, and it's the sad thing about God bless the Kobe's passing. Like, Kobe didn't have a perfect past. We know Kobe and stuff like that. But Kobe, as Kobe got older and stuff like that, Kobe mentored a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Kobe put his money where his mouth was. Kobe was raising the bar for women basketball more than anybody who I can think of. And that's including female athletes.
That's a fact.
Kobe was putting it on the bar, and Kobe was showing that respect to him. But anyway, the issue that I have is like, and this is, and hopefully no one listens to this and try to make me anti-Semitic. I feel the level of respect this country has for the Jewish community, especially on the fact that the scrutiny and the hardship that the Jewish community faced wasn't here in America. That happened in Germany.
Yeah,
right.
So it's like,
but
everyone, we don't want to downplay. Downplay the harsh
treatment.
No, not at all.
But the way that this country feels guilty about the Holocaust that happened in Germany, and they don't feel the same guilt of the slave trade that was going on for 400 years here in this country. We don't get the same energy. On the backs of so many inventions, so many things that are running in this country, traffic lights, refrigeration, all these kind of stuff that we use in this country that black people built, we don't get the same love and respect for our lives here in this country. And we have equity in this country. Yeah, we literally built the White House. We literally, so much richness in this country is based off of owning slaves and not having to pay slaves. And that's how so many people have their money. And all they do is just like, oh, that's the past. Let's not talk about it. But the Holocaust, which is also the past that didn't happen in this country, We still send billions to Israel because of the Holocaust that we weren't a part of.
Yeah.
And then as soon as you mention reparations in this country, people are like, oh, they just want free money.
Yeah, I had a president already, right? Yeah, what's enough? Didn't you? I got you.
So my biggest issue is this country has to show us the respect that we've earned.
But and also we also got to play our part, right? In terms of what you're saying is some great points, but as African American in this country, right, and as an adult, once you become a certain level and a certain age, you got to move accordingly and lead by example, right? So a lot of times is, athletes at all times. That's why I don't never talk bad about LeBron at all. For be 18 years old, not to go for something, to be his age now, 37, 38, and never get in trouble and just leading by example and doing everything right. He realized where he came from and what he's gonna be for life. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of the times is, when you get the opportunity to make millions of dollars, whatever, too, you're not a regular person. So everything you say, it's not like you could just go to the mall and just shop like how all of us do, go to the mall, hang out, whatever, too. When you go to the mall, they will swarm that mall if they know you're not, literally, you literally can get hurt. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? So as an African American person in general, in sports, entertainment, whatever, too, unless you're a rapper where you gotta, have a certain kind of swag, whatever, too, you gotta handle yourself very professional. You understand what I'm saying? Like Kyrie need a PR team because I don't want to see this young black brother. He works so hard. He's a basketball junkie. To get to the level where he got to, trust me, it's not a lot of 6'2", 6'3" people that can do what he does. Yeah. Period. Hands down, he's unstoppable when whatever. But he need a team to slow him down. He's going in the wrong direction. Yeah. And I don't know if mental health is playing an issue with him or he just felt like, I'm Kyrie Irving. Yeah. Some people, you get that. It's basically saying, I'm David Ruffin. Kind of. Seriously. Sometimes you need, even, in our family, whatever, we got successful people, whatever, too. But, we still could talk to them. Listen, you bugging out. You're doing this, whatever. Even with our, sisters and brothers, they're big dogs. Yeah. They make great money, whatever, too. But if I call my sister and tell her, listen, you wilding out, whatever, too. She gonna listen. She gonna, out of respect for us. You understand? Because we're a tight family. Sometimes you gotta hear the truth from your loved ones, regardless of what. Money don't make your status. But I don't want him to ruin a great situation. But the NBA is being wrong on that part, period.
Yeah. And to me, it's like I said, my only issue is just how many times have people say something racist towards African American people, really bad examples of it.
Yeah, and then they push it.
They get a slap on the hand and get pushed to the side. The only times you ever see people pay real repercussions is when the person is not that, someone gets fired if they weren't that good anyway. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? If they wasn't that creme de la creme, it's sort of like they make a big example of you. But if it's somebody who's very important, they say, oh, he's sorry. Then they have someone say that's not the kind of person he is. Things of that nature. They do their PR sweep, and then they move it to the rug when you disrespect the black person.
But the thing about it is, you said here they got a PR team that steps in. I really feel like somebody who carry respect needs to talk to him because he's gonna find himself out the league, and then not even once you're out the NBA like that. Not say he's not gonna be able to get money, but now you're not in a spotlight where people respect. Yeah.
To be honest with you though, and I always say this: I can't never watch another man's pocket. I can't never tell you you're supposed to do or whatever you.
Yeah, break. Of course not.
But Kyrie doesn't seem like the dude who's jacking. You know what? He's pressed that, you know what I'm saying? Damn, I need to make another 50 million, stuff like that. He seemed like he's the kind of dude that's just like, yo, if he really feel pissed off about it, I feel like he was gonna retire early anyway. I don't see him going to try to be 40, 50, like LeBron, so? Stuff like that.
Yeah, but he donates a lot of his money too. Yeah, when the WNBA during the pandemic, he donated money to them.
Yeah, he paid a couple people's salary. I want to say he paid like a whole team's salary when they couldn't play games and stuff like that.
He gave like $1 million or something. Yeah, he gave a lot of money.
So maybe money is not his thing. I guess he's just passionate about basketball. But why? to go to the NBA. Let me the amount of working hours you got to be an athlete of his status is a lot. Yeah. It's a lot.
It's one thing to dominate because you 6'9" and you got a body like no one has ever saw.
Yeah,
but to be they say he's 6'3". Kyrie's like really 6'1.5", and it's just phenomenal.
And then the amount of work, it's like when somebody's sleeping, you out there dribbling, you out there working on your game. So it's like, don't work that hard to ruin something because of you want to post certain things on social media, or just not taking certain things. You're taking it light when it's serious to others. Just he need a better PR team, I think.
No, that's true. And the social media, man,
is dangerous.
It can make you or break you. Like you said, you got to put some context with it, because if not, man, somebody's gonna take it how they want to take it.
Yeah. Listen, the crazy thing about what's going on with social media and stuff like that, someone can literally take conversations that you had, splice different pieces of it, and make you say the craziest thing. Like, I never said that.
Yeah.
But that's how, the microphone, social media is a powerful tool because everything you say lasts forever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
and to be honest with you, I always think of like, in the wrong context, someone go back and say, oh, Marvin said such and such, and then try to use it against me. That's why I try to be clear and concise in all of my thoughts. That I support the things that I say and can stand by it. So my next question is, off of the same topic, buck breaking, right? And like I said, to repeat, buck breaking is when you take one person, part of a population, and break them down so that everyone will be like, look, this is what happens when you cross out of line and you don't stay in the lane. It shows how much we need to support our own brands, because we can promote other brands, but they will let you go as soon as they're done with you. What do you think? Like, to be honest with you, Adidas knew that Kanye was heading on the road to be a problem. It wasn't like this is just like 1 second shock to them. So they was kind of like preparing themselves, right? Because Adidas founders were two Hitler supporters, two Nazis.
I'll say they knew what it was, but
right?
they knew he was smart.
No one never brings that up.
Wow.
Their two founders was Nazis.
I didn't know that.
But no one says anything about it. People just, it's business as usual. However, Kanye says, I'm going to go DEFCON 3 on the Jews, and like he's the worst person in the world. Don't get it twisted. Kanye's dead wrong. And like I said, I don't back Kanye. I can't back everything Kanye do because Kanye has an agenda. But I just feel like it's double standards when people of color do things, especially when they feel like, look at all that we gave you. Not that you've earned it, right? Because people feel like, oh, Kyrie needs to be quiet. He's so privileged. Kyrie is a specialist, right? Just like, and people, I'm probably getting controversial, like, just like a doctor spends years to become a doctor, not everybody could be a doctor. Not everybody can do what Kyrie's doing. You gotta respect, as he's a specialist craft. Kanye West, as much as Kanye's a weirdo, he's a specialist in what he does.
He's a genius, bro. He's a genius.
And that's why I feel like
whatever he touched turned to gold.
Yeah, he's a genius.
Everything touched the goes to gold. But I don't, what bothers me about successful people of color and one person, even though I don't always jack everything that he do, I respect, is Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry literally is making the table and the seats for people like us to come and sit there. That's why sometimes you laugh at certain things, like the hair pieces they use in his movies and things of that nature. But Tyler Perry is building infrastructure so that black people could come film their movies and things of that nature. And I feel like people of color, we get these so much money, and then in risk of losing that money or status, we just kind of just go along with shit being pushed to us, or just like, I don't want to ruffle the feathers. Like you said, how Jordan said in the beginning. Now Jordan supports political causes.
Yeah, because
he's already a billionaire. He's at the game. But I'll let you talk. My problem is enough of us don't be like for instance, one thing. Look at the big three, run by Ice Cube.
I love it.
You know what I'm saying?
We should have to check out the game too.
Yeah, but it's just like, it was a platform, an idea he has, and it's big. And then he said that the NBA and certain people are trying to like muscle him out and stuff like they're not happy, because what's smart is he using all the promotion that these guys used to get is built on the backs of. You know all those guys, like they're not in the league no more, but you knew them from the league pushing them all these years.
Good. Yeah, it was
and
decent.
it was good.
Yeah.
And 3-on-3 is just like, wow, it's something that could consume. It's fun. We need more people of color to take the chance and like, I'm gonna start something, right? Because people always say like, oh, like the billionaires and stuff like that, and you need billionaires to do these kind of stuff like that. Is it scalable? It's scaling. Like, but everybody don't have to own a $5.5 billion stadium, right?
Listen, the Asians, they stick together. What you call the other races stick together. Black people, not saying we're gonna stick together, but it's like a competition factor. Like, it's always a competition factor, regardless of what. If this man got a clothing line and that's supposed to be my boy or whatever, and we're friends, whatever, and I don't support, but I'm wearing this other person's brand, whatever, too, and it's like, it doesn't make any sense to me, right? Like you could have a clothing line, I could have a clothing line, he has a clothing line, but we don't have that mentality. We don't have that. Oh, let's make sure we all good. Yeah. Let's make sure we all could build each other. But we have that. He got to have 100 million. I got 2 million. You got 500,000. Now you don't. Now you might not want to be around him because he has 100 million. I don't mess with him. He think whatever too. Boom, mess that up too. And him having 100 million, he don't say. You might not get the 100 million he have, but he don't. Sometimes he don't got time to teach you everything or whatever to build you up like that, whatever too. But we don't have that stick together mentality. We have that competition factor, and that's what hurts us in whatever we do.
We make supporting each other too much trendy.
We make
just like, I'll support you while you hot. But as soon as I don't feel you hot no more,
like this.
I can't really back you anymore.
It's like this. I go to restaurants every week, right? With my wife, whatever, too. Ruth Chris and all these places, whatever, too. It's no different from the black restaurant that you go to and it's good, whatever, too. You can't go to Ruth Chris and tell them, yo, I want a discount. Here's the Groupon, whatever, too.
Yeah.
Soon as you open up that restaurant, your man gonna be like, yo, I'm getting half off, right? Like how am I supposed
Can I get free drinks?
Yeah, how am I supposed to build like the support factor with our people? And it's sad, and it's a domino effect, and that's why the youth is wild now, right? Because we don't have the OGs that we have now. Right now, listen, the way we going, if you got kids, you better talk to your kid every day because it's getting nasty out here. Mm-hmm. Seriously.
Opportunity makes it crazy.
It's getting nasty out there because before you had older people to watch, like, what you doing, whatever, talk to you, whatever, too. Now nobody's listening.
Yeah, you can't
everybody, and just go off topic, like, we got to be able to stick together. And even with this podcast, dudes at the job, whatever, they tell me they got a little something, I'm like, yo, come on. Come do this, whatever, too. Not because I'm reaching out because we need the support, whatever, too. Because you're doing something that says, you know what? It's going to help everybody in the long run, regardless of what. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? Black people, it's always a competition factor, and it's scary. It be your own people competing with you, and you don't even see that.
What are your thoughts as someone who's the owner of a black brand? And, like, explain to us, like, how it is the support amongst your community, people that you know, the kind of experiences. Like, like I said, we're good to these brands until they don't need us. And after that, they get rid of us. Like, you would think, for instance, if Kanye looked like somebody else and then Kanye got into trouble, the brands would usually be like, you know what? We're going to get him some help. We're going to put him with some mental health specialists. We're going to make him, work with this league because we believe in him and we know with the relationship that we have, this is not the kind of person.
Let's put him in therapy. Let's put him in.
No, they get rid of you because, like, you know what? You're not really our people's anyway. Mm-hmm. So explain to us, like, how you feel about that.
Well, like Cliff said, a lot of things that he said is true, But it's like, it's hard to explain, right? But it's like, it's just a mentality. Like, everybody kind of wants that hookup, or everybody wants that deal, and you say no is the worst thing you could possibly tell somebody.
Yeah,
you just ruined a friendship, or you just ruined. Oh, you're the worst person in the world for saying no. But but people don't understand. It costs money. Nothing is free in the world.
Yeah.
When you have a brand, you putting money in, you putting time in, and like there's times when somebody called me and say, I need 12 sweatsuits. I got $400. And I say, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
You know, like, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense.
Even you're not even covering my cost, not alone me adding value to what I'm doing. And
it's a difference of.
To me, it's weird. You know, but you gotta say, you gotta just say no. You gotta kind of like, you know, you gotta set a tone of how you want to be treated, and carry it out.
Yeah.
Like, you know, if somebody, you don't feel like they're respecting you the way you want to be respected, or treating you the way you want to be treated, you gotta just let them know. No, I'm not. You know, and stand on it. And then eventually, they come back around. They know he's not with it. So if I gotta come correct.
Come correct, yeah.
You know,
It's like with your brand, and we talk all the time about it. And I tell you, I'm like, Kareem, you listen. It's like this with black people. This what you call it. He's a popular guy. People know him, and he's built his brand, and he has good events and stuff. But people be pump faking you. Yeah. They come to the event. They got the shorts under their shorts. They got this whatever, and it's not saying they're not your man, but the energy ain't right somewhere somehow. Because my thing, and then I'm not trying to be like, oh, stir the pot, but my thing is this: you know, you coming here to support me. Whatever. I'm not saying you gotta wear I wear the full swoop for today because I feel like I got enough swag to pull it off. You ain't gotta tell me who I am. Yeah. So it is. I know I got that other shit. Don't get it twisted. I have that other shit. Whatever. And I can wear the other shit. But if my man throwing something, I fuck with him. Yeah. I'ma wear. I gotta wear for that day. Yeah. And then you know what I mean. That's just how you get it. Like the thing about it is, you got to be able to help each other and be truthful for it. Don't play games. Whatever. So they might feel like, damn, if I do that over too, yo. He might just take off. Now where that's gonna place me. Don't worry about where that's gonna place you. What places you is you might be help somewhere else in the back end. Not even saying that whatever too boom. If he said 12 sweatsuits for $400, 12 sweatsuits for $400, what kind of money he's gonna make? If you buying 6 sweatsuits $100 a pop, that's $600, and he throw a free one in. You still ate. You still did good. That makes more sense. But how you gonna ask me for 12 sweatsuits?
But you know, like I always tell Cliff, like y'all family is tight, like y'all mentioned earlier. Like y'all different. Like I don't think you understand. Like y'all don't y'all mentality, the way y'all think, or the way y'all like look out for people or show love, is real. You know, if coming from my world, my experience is rare to receive love and. Just for somebody just to have your back is rare. Like,
and that's sad.
I don't run into that a lot. I run into like a lot of people just, what can you do for me? Yeah. What can you do? Yeah. I see what you got going on. I want to be a part of it because what is going to make me elevate. It's going to make me look good, but it's not reciprocated. It's not like it's not going both ways. It's not natural. Yeah. It's just like, I see you got something going on right now. I want to be a part of it. Oh, be my manager. Oh, because I want you to put all that you have into me. Yeah. When it's just like, it's just natural. If you're doing something, I'm doing something, let's come together. Yeah. And let's work it out.
That's what leads to my last question on this topic, and then we'll move on. Should Kyrie and Kanye collaborate with each other? They're two highly influential black voices. Just think about it. Yeah. Because Kyrie is coming off of his Nike deal. Yeah. Kyrie brand, his name, like when it comes to shoes, people love the Kyrie.
It was like number one.
That was one of the better performing Nike shoes. Even in some instances, the Kyries did better than the LeBrons. Yeah. Right? And then Kanye. If Kanye and Kyrie get together and put out a basketball shoe next year, it's just gonna fly.
Oh yeah, it's gonna
That's
fly.
just gonna go.
It's gonna change the game.
It's gonna change the game, big time.
Right? What Big Baller Brand was trying to do, that should have go.
Yeah, but you know, I think it'll work out. I definitely think it'll work out. I think it'll have some backlash because you know. Once Nike or these big companies don't get a part of it, they're gonna do anything possible to blackball you. Yeah. In terms of that, but with social media now, what you call it, you really don't need much to start your own company or to be. Once you're a brand like Kanye and Kyrie, they'll always make money. That's why Kanye's like, I'm not worried about that billion, whatever. Too. That's for y'all to feel okay that I'm a billionaire.
Yeah.
I know I'm always gonna be a powerful person because I know who I am. I think Kanye is a genius. Kyrie, it's a little bit under investigation because he says certain things they go back and track them. But if they work together and they get a good PR team that could control both of them, and not control them like whatever, but just listen, let me handle this when it's time to talk. I think it work.
If Kanye and Kyrie get together and put out, a brand, Kanye drop a fire album and Kyrie be on his shit that season, it's a go. There's no looking back.
You know what that would do for the culture? What it do for the black community?
There's no looking back.
It would show like we could do it ourselves.
Yeah,
we could do it too.
Yeah,
and we could come together and work together
and don't get it twisted. As crazy as people want to call both of them are, they both like to give away money and be philanthropists too.
Because they're not.
They package all that, get the right PR team and stuff like that. It could be something powerful.
Yeah, I believe it. You should do it.
You know what I'm saying? So is this something I was just thinking to myself like, yo, we're both in a light where it's just like, yo, people are looking at us crazy and stuff like that. Come together, do a brand. Even say in the first year operation, we're donating 3% of our profits to open schools in Africa. Do something like that.
Yeah.
Tie into it. Still support your brand. That'll be a goal. But I feel like a lot of times people don't stop and think about those kind of collaboration.
You know what it is? A lot of times, it's not even a collaboration. It's the fact that certain things you don't want to do the groundwork and dirty work with it, right? When you now they're being blackballed in terms of what it is, they're gonna have to do some of the groundwork to make it big. A lot of times you this company's already established. If I get with them, they got everything running, so I'm just using my face to make it good.
I don't think people understand, I do the podcast and it's just there's so many people doing podcasts and things that nature. People just why do you still do it? You're not the breakfast time. My biggest thing would be I would love to blow up so I could push other people's stuff going on.
Yeah, 100%.
I want to be able to be like, you know what? I'm getting his swimsuit to the #1 swimsuit in the country. I want that kind of power. It's not even about me. It's not about my goals. I feel like I'm good. I make enough money in my regular life. I pay my mortgage and stuff like that. I'm good. To me, it's being able to be a voice for other people. To be like, you know what? Those people can't get on Power 105. They can't. They'll come to me and I push something big.
What?
That's what I would want. And I just feel like a lot of times we don't have enough of really putting on so that you could put other people on. It's all about being able to be like, I can shit on other people or I can shine on other people and not really pushing other people's stuff.
But it don't be other races like that. It be a lot of time it be our own people in competition. Instead of saying, damn, this person got this company, yo, can you help me out? How do you go about it? Who mentor you, whatever, too, boom. Some people will share the information if you ask, and then now it's about raising a conversation. A lot of times people are afraid to even raise that conversation. Me, I went through a lot. I've been through a lot, so now I got to raise the conversation when, if I don't feel right or the energy not right or basically I'm trying to learn something, I got to ask because I know I almost died. You understand what I'm saying? So my purpose of living and doing stuff is a little different, so stuff that I cared about and, might be important to the culture, whatever, it's not important to me. So, but if I can help somebody out or have the conversation to be a better person or to expand as people in general, I feel good. I'm like, you know what? I was a part of that. You know what I mean? Shout out to my bro, Av. He just did a turkey drive with Vernon Davis and yesterday in D.C. And I was my dog. That's my right hand. And I was just telling him, yo, bro, I'm proud of you. Because I know some of the stuff that he's been through and stuff, whatever, too. Not saying that other people don't do it, whatever, too. But he would always be like, damn, yo, you always support me or whatever. It's never like, oh, you looking for something, whatever, this and that, whatever. It's not because I'm looking for someone, whatever, too, because I'm comfortable because I got a good family. Yeah. As long as my family rock with me and whatever, too, I'm okay. You know what I mean? And it's a purpose of that. A lot of times is people sending mixed messages, but now these days, and especially in this time and age, we got to have that conversation. Yeah. Conversation is needed.
And support is big. Let me tell you, I support people for real, me and this guy sitting across from me, we support people anything that we feel like, you know what, we can show our support and show love to, we go to everybody's events.
You have to.
We buy everybody's suits and things of that nature. Because to me, it's just like, yo, it's about believing in people who need your belief, who need your support. And let's be honest, we got to support people that look like us, because we go crazy for strangers. Mm-hmm. We die about strangers. People die about Jordans. People die about their Polo, their Gucci and stuff like that. But then we can't big up someone who looks like us, who's trying to do something. To me, it's crazy.
It's not even just the support; it's the conversation. You know, like the other day, I was working out at the gym, and the job and whatever too, and I'm talking to somebody, you know, and he was watching the other podcast we was watching. He was watching Drink Champs.
Yeah.
And it was just having a conversation like, yo, things are different now. Like, you remember, like, we didn't have social media, right? Mm-hmm. Now, like, we didn't have social media. We had the typewriter, and we had whatever the OGs told you and was going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's it.
We got to raise the conversation. Not to be on some Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. We got to raise the conversation because we losing people left and right, right? And money don't make you a better person. It's that conversation of who leading by example, right? Mm-hmm. You know, like, if you don't have somebody that teach you nothing, how you going to teach somebody else?
Yeah, that's true.
So that's why I think it's important to have that conversation.
And especially because it's so easy to get knowledge across to people. It's so many resources that people didn't have before. Like, to be honest with you, anything you want to do in this world, if you spend enough hours on YouTube and Google and shit like that, you can figure it out. Anything you want to do in this world. Even, like you may not have all the resources that's needed, but you could figure it out, and then you could start planning, how do I get those resources? Mm-hmm. Anything. So that's what we got to take advantage of.
Yeah, it's so much information out there nowadays. It's so much information. You can, like you say, you can go on YouTube or something and figure out what it is that you need to do and save yourself some time, money,
end to end.
And you'll figure out how simple it is. When you thought it was so hard, it's really not that hard.
Yeah.
It's, you know, you put your mind to it, you can do whatever.
Do wonder. So I'm gonna move on to a more lighter situation. It's, you know, around this time it starts to get cold is a term called cuffing season, right? Oh. But then the other side of cuffing season is also scamming season. Some dudes, some females, they ain't got nowhere to go. All of a sudden you start looking good for them because you know they wanna stay at your place for the summer. Or for instance, like, yo, people ain't outside no more, so the girl or the guy who used to be like maybe, you gonna act like,
or vice versa. You might get the guy in the picture where he holding his woman tight behind him because he don't know what's going on. You know the picture I'm talking about? He holding it tight behind, like, yo, chick, you ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
But you know, he's figuring it out. I get it.
In that picture, they said like, this is the, you know, the woman's pain picture, right? Like, he's holding on to her. Tight. You know what I'm saying?
He looking back and forth. He like this is mine.
So let's talk about cuffing season, aka scamming season, right? And the first question is, the weather is cold and people don't want to be outside. It's not the beginning of the relationship scamming season. Like, for instance, some people is just like, you know what? Man, I know shorty lonely. If I put in that work now, she gonna hook me up for Christmas. Tax season is right a couple weeks after that. I could be lit the time spring and summer come. All I gotta do is, you know, give her some loving for the next couple of months. Yeah. I'll be good for the rest of the year. What do you think about that?
I think it happens. That's the sad thing.
Yeah.
It happens, but there's people out there that don't really have nothing, and they gotta come up how they come up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's sad, you know, but it's sad.
It's a big scamming thing that people don't realize. We talk about the credit card scammers and those things like that. There's relationship scammers. Yeah. It's dudes like, you know what? I know no one's showing her that love.
Yeah.
So I just hit her with the, hey, good looking. Hey, big girl, you know I like you, big girl. And sad, as a big person, I know sometimes, like, I used to be in a game where it's just like, you know what? People would be like, he's a big dude, he's a little shiny, stuff like that. Girls would be like, you know what? I'm going to get him to do stuff for me. You know what I'm saying? Not really feeling me, but just think I'm just going to just pay off, trick off and stuff like that. And it happens. It's relationship scamming. What do you think, Cliff?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a lot of that going on right now. Like, you know, I haven't seen a post on Instagram. The dude was wiping the big girl's butt and stuff, whatever, too. Like, Sean, I think it was on Facebook, whatever, too, to do, because it is like, yeah, tax season about to come and stuff like that. But, you know, a lot of times is, you know, you don't know who's playing the game and what. So, you know, there's guys that literally say, you know what, this wintertime, I'm gonna get 2-3 oversized girls or whatever, and I gotta handle my business. And by the summertime come and they disappear.
But as a person, how long, if you don't like something or you're not really interested in something, how long can you fake it before your true colors come out? Eventually, your true colors gonna come out, and that person that you treating crazy, they eventually have to watch like, whoa, this person don't really like me. You can see over time like, this person don't really like me. You can't. If you really don't like something, you can't. You can only fake it for so long.
Not. Listen, trust me. These guys are
professional.
Some people's
income. Yeah, that's some people's job.
You gotta figure it out. Listen, if that guy know that this girl's gonna put him on all the latest stuff, and he could get $15,000-$20,000 out of her, what you call it, during tax season, or even 10 bands, that could hold you on for a little bit.
How many dudes you think about it? Like, yo, shorty's okay, I'm not really feeling her, but boom, she gonna give me a place to stay. She gonna co-sign my car.
We can't just say the female, the guys too,
Same. I'll speak on the other end. Gonna co-sign my car. She's gonna give me her tax money and stuff like that. I can use her car while she's at work.
Yeah, that's a fact.
And all I gotta do is just pop maybe twice a week. The rest of the time, I'm still entertaining other girls too. They would be doing that stuff anyway. To me, it's just like, yo, you paying me to live good.
Jody.
Jody.
Baby boy type dude.
That's exactly.
That's funny.
That's a Jody.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a lot of Jodys out there.
Cuffing season and scamming season are one and the same. If you really truly don't take care of yourself, it happens. People get scammed every day. And like you said, it's not just women, it's men too.
Yeah.
It's how many dudes are paying bills, and it's just like taking chicks on trips. Like I was saying earlier on Instagram, shorty's showing you the food she eating, she's showing the beach she on. Who's paying for that trip? You don't see dude.
It's funny because I seen a dude, right? It was on social media. So he spent, that's to say about scamming her too. He spent 5 racks on this chick. He flew her out. I don't know if y'all ever seen this. He flew her out. He took her to a restaurant and all this, whatever, too. He take her back to the hotel. And he like, all right, cool. Like, he altogether, he spent like 5 racks. He didn't, get a little shopping, speak with her, too, boom. But she ain't trying to give up the ass. No, you know what I'm saying? She's just like, yo, you did that because you wanted to do that. Mm-hmm. So now he put her on live. He's like, yo. He start cursing. He's like, yo, you know what? You gotta move. Get out of here. She's like, oh, you being mad petty, whatever. So, but you thought because you did all this, I was supposed to like. He's like, Mom, if somebody is spending $5,000 on you, especially a man, what you call it, and not saying that money requires for you to give him sex or whatever too. You got to do something that says that requires that $5,000. Not saying I'm not forcing anything upon a woman or man, but you know the game. Once you become an adult, don't think I paid you $5,000 to have a conversation. Yeah. Make me feel and it don't even got to be just sex. Make me feel a certain kind of way where I'm like, you know what? She did ease my mind for the weekend. Sometimes you give massages or whatever, just talk to the person because people going through stuff. But she did all that and then she was on her phone texting. You gotta see the video.
My thing about it is you gotta keep it a buck. Let me tell you what part of the game that I would never be scammed in any show. You gotta understand. I'm in the streets as far as talking to guys, talking to so many people, stuff like that. So many dudes I know are taking down bad women who they've never showed them the inside of a restaurant. They've never shown them a concert. They've never shown them, anything lit, and they're taking them down. So my thing is, there's no way I'm investing thousands of dollars to impress you, and I don't know what the goods are. Like another video I saw, this dude flew a woman out to Dubai for a trip. He spent a total of $11,000, and then she was fronting to get down while they're in Dubai after he did shop. Like he's a clown to me Because why are you investing like my thing about it is I don't believe in investing that kind of money into someone that I'm already built in with.
You know what? A lot of the times, dudes be like, some dudes be like, it ain't nothing really because I got it. But it's not about you got it. It's the principle of it. Like if you spend that kind of money, something got to happen. I'm not saying that it's sex, but it got to at least make me feel like, you know what, it was worth it. She gave me she built something in me this weekend that I could use for the next time around. These chicks be pump faking, like you said. They don't want to post the guy. You better start posting your sugar daddies and all that, whatever too.
Probably trash, but when you gotta think about it, right? The guys that you was talking about that don't take these girls nowhere. Instagram, right? They looking like the men.
Yeah.
On Instagram, so these girls are watching them, following them. Oh, he got 300, like 200, like his status. She want him. She want him. She don't want him to do all that other stuff. If it's the guy she really don't like, she gonna probably put through the most.
Put through the ringer.
And then dudes try to front sometimes like they got it. So when they try to front with their bread, the girl gonna test them. Oh, you got it like that? Yeah. Let's do it. No, listen. Start at the bottom. Listen, they got this restaurant right here. Down the block, we're gonna go from there. We're gonna build up. If we can't build up from the bottom, I'm not gonna just jump out the roof because, like, even like some girls want to go on dates, right? They want to go to these fancy restaurants. Why want to go to Brooklyn Chop House? Brooklyn Chop House, your bill gonna be $500.
Yeah.
Roof Chris, your bill gonna be $300-$400. Yeah,
Mr. Childs, all of that stuff.
People go here for the anniversary. People go here when they graduate. People go here
big joints
for their birthday. Yeah. I'm gonna take you here on a first date.
Yeah, like one of the Valentine's days, me and my wife a couple years ago, like I took her to Mr. Childs, and then I took her to Blue Note, like a jazz club in the city, stuff like that. It was a $500-$600 day just from eating and stuff and drinking and stuff like that. But like that's my wife. You can invest like that. Dudes will spend $3,000 on a girl who you don't even know what it feel like. That to me don't make no sense. Like I don't care. Even if you feel like you got it like that, it doesn't make any sense.
But social media also helped the pump faking game crazy too, right? So now a chick had never been to Morton's before gonna ask you to take her to Morton's. You ain't never been there with any of your other guys, but now you want me to invest $400. So let's talk about it. Fuck all that. The average person is making after 2 weeks making from $1,000 to $1,500. That's if you got a good job, okay? $1,000 every 2 weeks. After taxes or whatever, maybe $2,000 if you got a good job, whatever too. So you asking that person to spend his whole paycheck almost for a hope. Guy ain't go for a hope. That's not even something to go play out. And he not gonna tell you that he swiped his credit card. Now he fucked with a vote just because. You gotta be honest. And a lot of times is what you think is quote unquote lit. You gotta find somebody that's gonna build with, and you can't let them scam you. Even if you a big person, whatever too. And if you feel like that person not giving you the energy, whatever, you need to separate yourself ASAP, or you could lose everything you build, your credit, everything. How many times you hear?
And another thing is, I'm gonna keep it a buck. Like you kind of also gotta investigate like what Shorty got going on to realize, like, yo, she's like you say, you're not even getting treated like this. So what make you think I'm the person that has to step up to the game to provide you stuff that no one else is giving you? Especially let's keep it about, and it goes shoes on other foot. I know some girls is just like, yo, you got 3 kids, 2 different baby daddies. The baby daddies ain't doing nothing for the kids, but you expect me to fly you out and do stuff like that. Meanwhile, you can't get your kids' fathers to pay for their kids' like school clothes and stuff like that. Why do I gotta be the scholarship, the United Negro Fund, when you can't it don't add up?
Listen, the scamming situation, it's rough. It's rough. You just gotta look at the opportunities and see what it is, because at the end of the day, when you caught in a woman or you caught in a man, whatever, everybody's trying to show them certain things that they don't do on a regular. That's how you build a relationship. But a lot of the times is, with social media now, everybody's looking for a quick come up. I no disrespect. I know some girls that all say, listen, like, if you take me away, it is what it is. It's going down, but you got to take me away. It's not. You gonna know soon, right, Kareem? Like if there's some chicks that I'll tell you straight up,
but
like
even that
if you take me away, then things can happen. But that's a hope.
Yeah, but
that's the hope division.
No. Say what you're gonna say. I'll remember my thought.
The first time with my wife, right? I was like, let's go to the beach. She said, I don't go to beaches in New York.
That's a respectful move.
I said, what? Yeah, I said, what? I said, you don't go to beaches in New York. So it took a long time to get into a beach in New York, but I had to get out the country if I wanted to go to the beach. That was a crazy experience.
No, I ain't go for that's a fly line though. That's a kind of fly line. But
I ain't gonna lie. She set the bar to let you know. Listen, I'm not local Freddie. I'm not gonna sit there. You're not gonna sit there and take me to Jones Beach and it's okay. I could. But she laid the foundation, so you knew what had to do. A lot of times but you ask the conversation, and then the thing about it now is people don't even have conversations anymore. Mm-hmm. People DM each other. Like, you don't got to talk on the phone with nobody. You could literally text message your way into stuff or whatever and say, listen, I already booked our flight. We're going to Vegas, whatever, too. Shorty's like, all right, cool. You didn't have not one real conversation. You could be going to Vegas with Jeffrey Dahmer or whoever, what you call it, boo. Yeah. That's how crazy social media makes it now.
Another example that I saw the other day, and it was just like a dude was talking to a girl and stuff like that, and she's just like, oh, yeah, I'm having a party for my son. I'm $2,000 short. You think you could help out? And he's just like, wait, you $2,000 short for a party for your son? What kind of party is this? And he's just like, no, homeboy gonna have to have cake and what's the name at the crib. She's like, oh, he's like, we just started dating. How do you expect me to spend $2,000? She's just like, well, you're dating a woman who has a kid, and then my kid is part of the package. You expect someone you just started meeting, just started dating, to pay $2,000 toward a party for your son, and it's just like, where the hell is his father at? That's the shit that I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying?
Or bring that party down a little bit. You got to take certain things out.
$2,000 is not short. Yeah. You ain't got shit, right?
$2,000 to do a whole party.
Of course,
you could be $2,000 short of tuition. Right, that's $2,000 short. How are you $2,000 short on a party? Like, what kind of party is this?
Yeah, exactly. And like, especially the thing about it is now it's so scary because females, like guys, I'm not just making it sexist, but females are more to be straightforward and just ask for the bag immediately. Mm-hmm. They're not even trying to do the homework to say, you know what? Let me build it. They straight up tell you, yo, this is my requirements. This is what it is. If you ain't gonna do it, then I'm cool with it because the next one will. Yeah. And there's a lot of dudes that the scammers and drug dealers that have it like that will just give it to them.
I respect
whatever.
that.
And I'm not hating on the game. I'm just saying
let's not waste each other's time. Go find him.
Yeah.
If you got someone tuition Freddie, go find him. Let's not waste each other's time. I've heard girls say, yeah, I flirt through Cash App and Zelle.
Exactly. Weird.
So I don't even. I'm trying to get to know you, and you flirt through Cash App and Zelle. Ma, you sound like a prostitute to me.
You'd be surprised.
Yeah, I back a long time ago, I met this girl, and she was just like, "Let's come with me to Barney's because I want to get something for my son." So I was like, "All right, come on, let's go." So we go to Barney's, and she tried on some sneakers. So she's like, "Oh, you got my size." So they have the man comes and he goes, it's gonna be like $1,000 of shoes. We never had a conversation, nothing. We never talked about this. She said, give the tablet to him, he gonna pay for it. No conversation or nothing. I didn't even know I was signing up for this. I said, I'm not buying that. How you line somebody up like that? That's crazy. Literally, pass it to him. I said, I'm not paying for that. And I walked out.
Yeah, you did the right thing. You just write
Lost
down.
a friend, but it's okay. I saved $1,000.
Of course. And now you know what?
I know this is a very superficial question, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Was she that level of woman to even think that that's possible?
She was like, as far as like beauty, she was nice, but she didn't have nothing else. She's like Instagram girl, real pretty, real, but she didn't, after having a conversation with her, she didn't really have anything else. She didn't have a job. That was her only job. She had a felony. She didn't really bring anything to the table. So I was investing in whatever that moment was going to bring for me, and I didn't think it was worth it.
My thing is like this, like, a lot of times now, and it's okay. You got to raise that conversation. Don't bring me to Vinny's or whatever, or whatever little shopping sprees, or you be like, oh, let's go to Chanel real quick, whatever, to Mama. It's not happening. It's not going down. Well, you need to go with you and your girls on your personal time. I'm not looking for that. Regardless of what. If you trick me into taking you to Rue Chris and we had a good time. No, listen. Sometimes you can get tricked into it because one thing, I'm big on conversation, right? So if I got tricked into that and I was okay with it, that's different. But if you just like, oh, meet me at Chanel, I'm like, there's no meeting you at Chanel. There's no meeting you at Fifth Avenue to shop.
It's this city girl mentality that people have.
And
like
Diddy making it bad for us too.
No, but the problem,
that whole little young Miami Diddy joint, it's it's ruining our culture because everybody thinking it's okay to be like that now.
But even these girls, they be in full-fledged relationships with people who got it like that and get like that. You don't think like some random dude is going to do all that for you. Like this is the craziest. I'm gonna keep it all the way above. If you ever travel to DR and some of these islands and stuff like that, you can have a goddess do whatever you want for $1.50. Listen. Yeah. Ever since, as a young man, I realized that there's no way you getting me out here in these streets. Because it's very superficial, but it'll be like a New York 6 that thinking you're going to spend $5,000 on them where you could be Hugh Hefner in DR for $300, and the flight's only $300. Yeah. So guess what? I save money going out there. My wife's never gonna let me go to DR after saying shit like that. But I'm keeping it a buck. Like to me, the mentalities are completely screwed. Men and women, like the scamming relationship kind of thing. My thing is like, I'm generous when I feel like you're worth my generosity. But I'm not going to be generous to get your time. But I feel like I'm a cool nigga. I'm going to be able to spend time with somebody. I don't got to pay to spend time with somebody.
But let's talk about it, right? So with the whole scamming and cuffing in terms of certain time period, what I'm saying, social media is ruining it for other people. You can't even have a functional relationship without social media being involved in terms of whatever, too. It's like, people see certain things and they want to elevate themselves at all times. Nobody wants to look like themselves anymore. You got dark-skinned guys turning into Sammy Sosa's. No disrespect, Sammy Sosa. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying in general. Like you got women saying, you know what? I ain't gonna work out. Let me just go
get my body done.
Get everything type. You got even men doing the BBL joint jump off whatever too. Like you know what I'm saying?
Sidebar, I seen a video where there was just like there's a DD Dominican dick lift.
So you got all kind of crazy things going on. So like I feel like if social media shut down tomorrow, a lot of relationships would be over. Yeah. Because now you gotta go back. Imagine if you gotta go back to think about it. Let's have that conversation too in terms of tricking people. Imagine if you had to go back to no social media and you just had to be with that one person. Think about how your world would change.
They should make that a sport. Like, to be honest with you,
your world would change.
The crazy thing about it was, I learned who I was as far as, like, what I brought to offer, my mouth game, all that stuff like that, too late in the game. So I was already out the game. But the G I have now, I know if I was let out in the streets, I would eat. A lot of dudes, if you shut down Instagram now, they getting no women at all. None, because all they do is scam. They scam you with like, this is who I am. I'm taking pictures with such and such. Sometimes dudes would be like, yo, it'd be like somebody like Kareem who's having a party and you know all these people and stuff like that, and it'd be the dude who jumped in the picture. He had no connection and nothing with that, but he jumped in that picture and now he looked lit. He had nothing to do with that, so he don't really hold no count.
What about if he's a computer where he take your whole profile and just put his head on top of it?
Yeah.
Put it on top of it. So I'm trying to tell you, like, the fact that, you know, you can't even, like, you literally don't have to talk on the phone no more. You could literally just be hitting up or messages or whatever too, and then
you can flirt through memes.
Yeah, they don't. Like,
there's a meme to say anything that you want to say. You're talking to people. That's why people get scammed, because we build up what we want people to be.
Perception of what it is. Perception of what people be. So
let me ask you a question before we move to the next topic. Why do people bother being frauds in the beginning of relationships if they can't keep that energy? And also, have you ever been scammed in a relationship by falling in love with a representative and not who they really are?
I think everybody that I meet, they be who they are. You know, they be crazy in the beginning, they be crazy later on. You know?
I respect that. I respect you give me crazy early, and I realize, like, yo, this is what I'm dealing with. Then to give me this salesperson, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, you wind up, like, you wake up one day, you're like, yo, who the hell is this? This is not even the person that I rocked with for like 3 months. Now this is a completely different animal.
Yeah, I mean, it happens with, you know, the person that I meet, it be, you know, they show their colors from the beginning. You know, they you know, it just, it is what it is. Like, you know, but if you meet a person and they switch up on you, man, it has to suck. It's a waste of time.
A waste of time. You wasting my time and your time.
3-4 months is a long time, man.
Yeah. Like I always think of like Bundles of Brittany, you know, how she did PJ Washington and stuff like that.
She didn't do, listen, we got to stop here. She didn't do nothing. I agree. She didn't do nothing to PJ Washington. PJ Washington did that to herself. Yeah. He knew, she been setting the standard. Yeah. Anybody who messed with her, she straight up told you what her life was about.
Yeah.
And then if you decided to get to the next level and get
but all he thought, like, there's some dudes is just like, you know what? Shorty's bad. I got a little bread. You know, I'm going to take her out of the game. Like, Robert Covington took Amira Dime out the game. You know Amira Dime?
Yeah, okay, I know you.
Robert took her out the game, stuff like that. There's certain dudes is just like, yo, Shorty got a certain profile, you know what I'm saying? But I'm going to wife her up, she's going to be mine, and the game is going to be good. He thought he was taking her out the game. Meanwhile, this is the same woman who's just like, yo, she tried to put Colin Kaepernick on blast, so Colin Kaepernick made her pay her own ticket to come see him. Colin Kaepernick was trying to see where Shorty head was at.
That's dope.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Way you got it. When you're a certain kind of person, certain caliber, like, you expect the people that you deal with to be able to handle their own or hold their own.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need me. It's nice if I do it, but if I don't do it, like, can you do it?
Yeah.
Can you take care of the situation if I can't do it? Yeah. That's the kind of people you need around. You don't need people that's always depend on you, because, like Dame Dash said to Clue a long time ago in the videos, like, if I'm the only one up and I fall, and we all fall. But if all of us can hold our own, and if I fall, somebody can hold me down. And and that's the kind of people, you know, you need around you. But everybody, even if the girls you dating, can you hold your own? Yeah. Because you never know if that time gonna come, and you need that person to be.
Let me tell you, the game from billionaires down, everybody got a recession. Everybody got a recession, regardless of what. They ain't gonna tell you how the recession went. Yeah. The billionaires will tell you, I lost everything. I borrowed 500 million from this person, 200, and that's how I came back up. And then the company went better, and then I get back what I had, and we good. Everybody has a recession, okay? Yeah. So you can't. Honestly, the reason why I like to even work or whatever, or do things on my own, whatever too, because I can't trick myself to think I have to ask somebody or worry about support and getting support on the other end. I gotta be like, I feel like I'm good, because everybody have a recession. Even the person you feel like, oh, I could count on them, whatever too. They're not gonna tell you that they broke. Who gonna really tell you that I ain't got it?
Yeah.
And that person always looked like it was up. They might have made some moves that just took them out the game, but they can't. Some people physically don't know how to say that they don't got it. So they be like, all right, give me some time. You know what I mean? Because they don't want to have that. But everybody has a recession. Everybody has a recession. It's just the moves you make.
So to answer this question, and then I'll move on to the next topic. Why do people front in the energy? People just feel like, you know what, they're gonna catch their sucker, and then once they're comfortable, they can switch up. But to me, it's just like, yo, what's the point of that? You're gonna get disappointed, the person's gonna be disappointed, and then you waste each other's life. I'm 40 years old. Obviously, I'm not in the game because I'm married. But if I was in the game, to be honest with you, it's just like, yo, I don't know. I'm a black man. I'm not in the greatest shape. I'm like I'm not gonna waste years with someone on a hope and a dream. We got to be whatever the hell we say we are up front. And it also is just like, you know, it's like, have I ever fell in love with someone's representative? No, because to be honest with you, I'm always just like keeping it a buck so early that either you mess with my wave or you don't. Period.
My,
you know what I'm saying?
My sign, like as a Taurus person, if we fuck with you, we gonna go balls-to-wall. If we don't, it's over for you. I could literally shut down. Like if I could literally be fucking with you one day and then be like, I'm just good. I ain't gonna do nothing towards you. I'm just whatever too. Yeah. So I never been tricked. And then I wasn't really in my whole days. I'm married now, but in my whole days I was really just, all right, it is what it is. If you sold me a dream, I sold you the dream too. I was a dream killer too. Don't think you know, real talk. Don't think you just slam dunked the kid. Yeah. I done did something. I done 360 you too. So I never gave him enough energy to be like, oh, I'm in love with you. I'm in this, whatever. So I was more like, all right, I rocked out for what you gave me. You know what I mean? Even if we rocked out whatever too, if we did certain things or whatever you wanted to do that, it's because I wanted to do that. Don't ever feel like you closed the chapter on me and you just, I swag. I never been swagged out like that because I listen, I'm gonna catch on to you regardless, men or women. I'm gonna catch on to see what's going on.
Listen, nothing changed my life more than knowing that, like, yo, you could get a bad joint for $100 outside of this country. You know what I'm saying? At other places, like, I'm talking about Beyonce level of. So to me,
Colombia, all that.
The reason why I say these things is for you to realize, like, yo, it has to be more than just looks. It has to be more than just, you know what, I'm just trying to pop off and stuff like that. Because, yo, if you wait, come on, I don't care what kind of porn star you think you are. You're not spending more than 2 hours, 3 hours a week on sex. Who's spending more 2 hours, 3 hours a week on sex in its totality? So you got to think about, what are you doing all the rest of the time? If they're not bringing nothing to the table, they're not helping you get bread, not making you feel good about yourself mentally and stuff like that. Like, yo, you can have sex with a lot of different people and stuff like that, but that's not building towards nothing.
She or he got to be building something to what you're trying to establish, because a lot of the times the thing about looks and all that, whatever, too, it's good. You want to be able to broadcast, oh, I got this girl, I got this man, whatever, he take care, whatever, too. But if the person is just all about that, and then, you know, they can't even raise kids, or you can't even have a decent conversation with them, you're like, what are you building?
And then I'll move on. You could get scammed chasing after a bad bitch, but you'll never do wrong chasing after a good partner, a good person. And when you get older, that's when you realize it, like, yo, like, I gotta really rock with this person. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because you could chase after a bad joint, you get a bad joint, and then guess what? All the hustling and scamming and stuff that you had to do to get them, you're always going to have to do that. And then as soon as you're not up, they're gone.
That's a fact. And then the energy got, like honestly, nowadays you gotta feel that chick energy got to be there, and you gotta really understand, because a lot of chicks enhancement going on, and what you call it. You don't find a natural girl anymore to say, this is me, this is how you met me, I'm not changing with this and that, whatever. Yeah. A girl look at the next girl like, damn, I gotta do this, I gotta do that, whatever too. You know, it's a lot of insecurities going on, even, you know, especially in the female population, because it's like, I mean, I don't really see it too much with guys where they like, oh, I gotta fix my body, whatever. Guy will be whatever, and like, as long as he's got his bread right, he like, I'm Gucci, yeah. I don't care about none of that. Yeah. But females, they be like, hold on, how she do that? Oh, nah, hell no, I gotta go do this, I gotta do that. Everything getting lighter, everything getting fuller. It's like, you know, what are you looking for? Are you really looking for a man, or are you looking for the world? You got to ask yourself that. And that's what you got real talk because, you know, a bad chick could be bad with all the representative, but if she can't hold a conversation, she don't really know how to function on a day-to-day household or whatever. So what are you really doing for me? Yeah. We're not having sex 7 days a week. Not with my schedule, because I know you wanted me to work or whatever, make sure my money right, so I ain't gonna be around like that. Yeah. And if you bad, you ain't gonna be around like that too, because you're doing something that says we a team. I'm not looking for if I wasn't in the game, I'm not looking for draft picks. I'm looking for somebody who's a first rounder with me. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Looking for that draft pick could keep you broke and after funny. Yeah.
All right, so the last topic on the show, and then we'll close out, is no respect for trailblazers. It's like, I feel like, and I'm going to sound like an old head saying this, but I feel like, you know, this new generation, like, yo, they don't have respect for the people who made stuff happen for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, for instance, 21 Savage the other day said, like, yeah, Nas is not relevant and stuff like that. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, yo, when Nas is still relevant to me, but I'm a New York Queens cat, so different. But it's just like when Nas and Jay-Z was coming up, they wasn't like, oh yeah, Rakim ain't nothing, Big Daddy Kane ain't nothing, stuff like that. They respected. They might have beefed with each other or some competition shit, but the guys who made shit easy for you, they show respect for it. It's like, yo, this is the legend, stuff like that. And I feel like these young cats don't have it that way. You know what I'm saying?
Even that NBA YoungBoy.
I can out-rap Jay-Z.
Floyd Mayweather. Floyd Mayweather. He was just like he ain't nobody. Your punk daddy. When he run through the house, he was talking to his daughter.
Yeah.
He's like, your punk daddy. He ain't nobody. And it's like you said, like this guy is a legend. This guy is something special, and the young generation just don't care.
But it's the lack of instruction. It's the lack of men. How do you tell somebody who, like an NBA YoungBoy who's number one on YouTube in terms of making money, how do you really give him advice to really respect you when he's like, nigga, I made more money than you in a year that you made your whole life? No, seriously, that's why you're going to. If I tell somebody who's like 21 Savage or NBA YoungBoy, yo, man, you gonna die. He said, you died already, nigga. You broke.
Damn.
That's real talk.
That's hard.
No, bro. I gotta give you the reality. He like, I'm telling NBA YoungBoy or 21 Savage, you gonna die because the direction going, because I know how the streets are. Nigga, you dead already. You broke. You ain't got no money. Oh, hey, get the fuck out of here. But that's how they look at it. So when somebody like 21 Savage say a dude like Nas is not relevant, he not thinking that. He don't even understand he's a rapper. He's so drilled in with the tattoos and everything. His bars are fucking average. And I like 21 Savage.
I like 21 too.
His bars are average. Mm-hmm. He got a good vibration going on, and all that drill shit that he got going on, that makes you like, yo, this shit's kind of hard. And then you put a nice beat to it. Then I fuck with the drill. That's all I do. Yeah. But what I'm saying is, so a lot of times, young boy. These young people are not gonna listen to you when they feel like they're doing better than you at all. See, the older generation, regardless of what, they like, you know what? It was different to sit them down and say, yo, listen, I'm trying to tell you, and we had a little more respect. Now it's like,
yeah, soak up the game
like,
so you
like
can avoid
now
mistakes.
It's like, how do you tell your 18-year-old nephew who has $5 million and you 20 years older than you try to, this is what you need? Like, man, you ain't never get it right, up. You ain't never had no money. What are you talking about?
That's what Kanye said. He said, why would I take advice from you
when you're not richer than I'm richer than you? Yeah. That's asshole.
So, but that's why we losing the youth. Like, you know, they're not listening to like, yo, stop. Don't hang out with this person. You know, and it's the lack of fatherhood in that, right? Like, you know, a lot of times we got to step up as men to make sure that we mentoring the right kids, because, you know, as parents, talk to your kids, because the direction is going is they don't listen to nobody. And they get more money than you.
Let me ask this sub-question. It seems like every generation, especially in the black community, we have a divide between the old school and the new school. And now it seems to get worse and worse. So like you're saying, how do we change that?
I think we change that, like, if somebody who at a higher status steps in, right? Not to say he has to take time out, like somebody like a Jay-Z. You got to be qualified, right? Because if somebody like KRS-One talked to NBA YoungBoy was like, you ain't never make the money I make. What are you talking about? But if a Jay-Z talked to NBA YoungBoy, he might be like, oh, son, he know who Jay-Z in, yo. Oh, word? That's how you did that? All right, cool. They only respect what's popping. That's why 21 had the nerve to even say that about Nas, because he don't know the culture of Nas. Yeah. He don't know about Rewind.
Yeah.
This man made a song backward. That's shit that he could never do. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. He don't know he beat with Jay-Z and beat him one-on-one. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What do you think about, like, how do we change that mentality with these guys?
You gotta give the respect. Like Nicki Minaj, Lil' Kim, right? When Nicki Minaj came in the game, they was beefing. I didn't understand that. They had the same style. They had the same everything, and I just understand why they couldn't work together and become like, let's do this together because we kind of like doing the same thing or did the same thing. I did it before you. Now it's your time. Let's not beef about it. Let's come together, work it out together. Let me show you respect. You show me respect. Yeah. And we could make something bigger happen.
Yeah. So like what he said is a teamwork aspect too, but you cannot be. See, and a lot of the old heads too, they gotta be able to share the game and not be selfish to the point where you can't be salty the fact that this young boy got more money, opportunity, more money, because now he has social media, he got things that elevated you, whatever. Too. You was at a time where it might have been 4 rappers all popping. Now you got 50 rappers popping. Everywhere. Yeah. So a lot of times is you got to give them knowledge, but also you got to be able to take the fact that he is more popular than you. He is whatever too. So it got to be like a back and forth kind of situation, right? Respect the time too, and
you know, your time, that's my time.
And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to be like, you know what? Reach out, let's collab, let's make something happen. Sometimes you might get rejection, whatever too, but it is what it is. You tried.
That's why, I agree with both of y'all saying, like, we as the older generation just have to don't get it twisted. You have a lot of good things going, but you gotta understand that it's not always gonna be your moment. I'm trying to prepare you for when it's not your moment, so that you can have longevity, right? Yeah, I may have not made the money that you have, but I'm still around. I've ducked a lot of ops. I've ducked a lot of roadblocks that right now you're not seeing because everything is shiny to you. You know what I'm saying? Let me use my wisdom to let you avoid some of the other things. I don't mind that you're making more money for you. That's your blessing. I can't block your blessing. But if me as someone with wisdom, if I could tell you like, yo, watch these roadblocks, watch these potholes so that you can keep running smooth, I want you to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? So how do we build up our youngins without us seeming preachy or corny?
Also, too, I think a lot of times is if you get it from the label where they gotta have hip hop mentorship, they'll learn how to.
Labels don't care about.
I know, no.
Labels want you to die because they use your shit after you dead and make more money.
They say that, but what's the label that say that all the rappers die? I don't know.
Priority.
Not Priority.
Is it Epic or Priority?
No, it's not Epic or Priority. It's not Koch. It's another one that all the young people they died under. PB Rock was under it. Yeah. Who else? What label is that? They all these rappers. Exxon. What you call it? Station. They all on this. Is it Empire?
Yeah.
Empire. Yeah.
So you like
I apologize to the other record labels I named. It was Empire. Yeah.
So a lot of time, I'm not saying them, but when they hire their with A&Rs and whatever too, they gotta also make them try to sign. I mean, if that was important, I don't know. It's because the labels usually say the labels don't really care what you do.
They make more money when you gone.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's tough, man. Because now everybody, the young generation only respect money.
Yeah. So how do we preach to the young generation without sounding preachy? Not preach. How do we talk to them without sounding preachy and corny? What do you think?
They gotta respect you first. If they don't respect you, you can't. They gotta respect you and what you're about before you even approach them. Mm-hmm. They gotta, your status, your legacy. It gotta make sense to them. Other than that, like you said, I made more money than you. Can't tell me nothing.
Yeah, it's a fact.
They gotta respect who you are as an individual. And once they respect who you are as an individual, it's like you go you go back to your old block. They know who you are. Mm-hmm. They heard about your name. Yeah. They more liable to listen to you because they know who you are and what you've been
to a certain extent, but you got to look like you up. Yeah. You can't go back to your old block and no disrespect to sanitation or whatever. You look like you a janitor and then you trying to speak. They're going to be like, man, if you don't get the fuck out of here with your 20-hour job, nigga, I make $5,000 every week. They gotta respect the fact that people only respect the young generation only respect money. Yeah. They don't even respect.
You can still be a lane with a lot of bread.
Yeah, but they don't even respect the conversation and knowledge.
And you can live a life where it's just like, yo, you getting a lot of bread now, but the way you moving, you're not gonna be around next year.
Not even that. You think all the rappers that passed didn't think they wasn't gonna make it to 40 years old?
Yeah.
If you don't make it to 40 years old, 30. I mean, even making it 30 as a rapper is kind of a big deal now. But you think some of these rappers that been getting off now didn't know they wasn't gonna make it to 40 at all?
That drill music, man.
Yeah, it's just it's different.
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say a statement on what you just said, and then I'll ask the last question. We drill music gets a bad rep, but being about killing and stuff like that. But in 1979. There was way more murders in New York than any of the last couple of years. Yeah, in 79, it was like 600, 700 murders. In the last couple of years, we've had like 200 murders and stuff like that. People think it's high and stuff like that. It's like, the drill music, it does have that kind of violence, stuff like that. But to me, it's just lack of opportunity. Back then, the opportunity was really bad, so people was just murdering just to get by.
But
you didn't see it in front of you every day.
Yeah.
Our thing is now we see it every day because social media. Oh, this person passed. Yeah. Back then they did't have that. So if somebody died, you didn't really know.
Yeah. Unless you watch the news. Yeah.
Or we watch documentaries. We know, like back then, it was real.
It was crazy.
But then it's like with the youth, like. It's so scary because when I was like growing up, whatever, so we had our little Lost Boys and gangs and shit like that. If it was 15 of us, maybe one person had the burner. Now you got out of 15, 7 got it, and they got the big ones too.
Extended clip, 30 round drums, all that.
And now the new shit is right, and now like. You know what these young boys do? You might have went to school with their brother. They create, they do some shit where they act like they never knew you before, so they can feel okay robbing you. That's the new shit.
Listen. I be jumping out my own hood, and then I'm getting looks from dudes. I'm like, dude, I know your moms, I know your pops, I know your old head. You crazy?
Listen. This the fuckery they do. And this happened to me like 2-3 weeks ago. So I'm going to the quick story because I know we run for time. I'm going to I didn't even say I'm going to like Jamaica Flavors. I forgot where I'm going to, boom. But I know the dude, whatever too. Like I know his older brother, whatever too. But he creating a space, whatever, like to make it seem like he don't know me because he might, not saying I'm big shit. I got a truck. I'm gonna say the truck, whatever. It is what it is. But he created an avenue just to make it seem like so if man robbed me, he could be like, there's no ties to it. That's what these young boys are doing. So I'm like, you know what? But me, I'm always thinking touch that to hassle. You know what? This is another Jamaica spot. Because I don't got time for that. I ain't got nothing that say listen, all those I'm trying to act like a tough guy is over for me. I ain't got nothing to say. This is the time where I could probably not make it back home.
Yeah. And
just because I just
gotta get back home.
Like fuck that. You know what? I'm still gonna get my ox tuck. No, this. You know what? 2 blocks down, I know this one's a little safer. So it's scary
So
time.
let me ask the last question is, how can we get our young millionaires to create opportunities instead of living to floss on struggling people? I feel like a lot of times people would rather spend $250,000 in a strip club throwing that money than taking that $250,000 and said, like, let me start this little program where it's just like, kids could learn how to do music like me and things of that nature.
But the problem is it's a lack of 2-family homes. It's the lack. You know why kids and the youth go to the streets, whatever, too, because they all got the same relationships. When they go out when you start going to the streets, start hanging out on the streets with us, you realize, yo, my man Kev, dad left him too. My man Kev, yo, my brother locked up too. So now all of a sudden, we got the East Siders now. We the East Siders. We creating some shit because we all went through the struggle. That's what it is. Like now as parents and we consider cool dads now because we in the third with these niggas. We still swagged out, so you can still be a cool dad, but have that conversation with your kid. So a lot of times it's scary, but as a parent, you gotta have them conversations, and that's how gangs are started. I took a gang class when I was in my last year in college, whatever, and I realized And one of the dudes that was Blood, he was in the movie Training Day. He came up and spoke when I went to school, whatever, too. And he told us that's how gang started, because a lot of lack of parents in the household, where they're like, oh snap, yo, you don't know your dad. I don't know my dad either. Yo, you don't know this. Yo, I live with my grandmother too. Fuck it. Now everybody, that's how the clique started. You know what I'm saying? And then it became powerful at that. So I don't know. It's one of the things where even like somebody like a Rick Ross or like Future, instead of, they respect Future. Like Future will tell you straight up, yo, I'm more popular than Jay-Z. I'm bigger than Jay-Z. He is with this era, with this new joke, because they're like, yo. But it takes somebody like Future to step in and be like, yo, come here, let me talk to you. They're going to listen to Future. Because Future's still taking the lean. He sounds like he's not even drinking it, but you know what I'm saying? He's in the lingo. They're not going to respect KRS-One.
Yeah. I just feel like...
Even Fat Joe said, yo, I've been swagged out forever. Some of these young boys would not listen. He sat there and told 6ix9ine, listen, man, that shit you doing is going to land a lot of people. He interviewed them. It's going to land about... everybody in jail. That's exactly what happened.
He foresaw. I don't know. My thing is we have to kind of we got to get these young millionaires to understand, like, yo, you said something earlier, there's a legacy in your name. You know what I'm saying? And I think we have to force our young dudes to realize, like, yo, whatever you doing has a life cycle.
Yeah. If
God bless you, you may live 80, 90 years. Whatever you doing, you're gonna be hot for 5, 10 years.
Yeah.
If you one of the special ones, you hot for 15 years. But there's a life cycle for all of that. How do you let your name and your legacy last forever? How do you let it ring? Put your name on buildings instead of worrying about doing this flossy shit that's here today, going tomorrow.
But,
you know what I'm saying?
But you go ahead, Ring. Go ahead.
In our culture, that's what's cool. It's not cool. You're not getting attention from any of the other stuff. You're getting attention when you flossing. You look like money. Oh, you got money. The world, everybody gonna gravitate towards you. You know, it's sad, but when you do good or you doing good, nobody recognizes it. You know, nobody even talks about it. It's about what you got or what you got on or what you could floss or what you could show. People love that. Yeah, you know.
I mean, my thing about it is like you have this small window. Yeah, life is finite, right? Like you're not gonna be here for 200, 300 years. How you let your name ring? How you let a legacy pass? I always pray that, you know what, some stranger one day comes across our podcast and it's just like, yo, let me just watch a couple of videos because I'm bored and just hear the shit we talking about. Like, damn, they was really saying some shit. Maybe this will happen 5, 10 years down the line. Maybe this happened well past the time that I'm gone. But if I could have one person be like, yo, he was really saying some shit, that's my legacy. That's the mark that I made.
And the thing about it is, right, like, it's crazy, right? Even, you know, you learn by years and experience, like certain things, like, oh, this and that. But this youth, they don't have the after school programs, right? So they don't have, like, we had Town Hall. You remember Town Hall? We had Town Hall.
I pass by it all the time when I'm back in the hood.
We had to go to town. We went after school. If you wasn't like in sports, you went to Town Hall from 3 to 6 o'clock. Town Hall was created because most parents got out at 6 o'clock, and that kept your son or daughter, whatever, and the 3 brothers and sisters you had okay until your parents got out of work.
Yeah.
Now it's like this: one parent working, mother's working. She got 3 boys or 1 girl, whatever. 2. They running their own life. Because she got to work to provide. Yeah. And it's not saying that she's not doing a job as a parent. So all this, they took out all the after school programs in their communities and everything else. And now it feel like New World Order.
When I was young, I had something called the Boys Club.
Yeah, you had that. They don't have those.
We took us to trips, we basketball, swimming. Yeah, that's why I learned how to swim. I learned basketball, kickball,
they took
ping pong, tournaments. You going against other clubhouses, and you traveling, and they taking you on trips, and they giving you camp.
Yeah.
They had a camp for the whole entire summer.
Yes, but it kept you busy, and it kept you from going into jail. But now they don't have that. Now, a lot of times what they do is they cut out the budget for that.
Yeah.
Why you cutting out the budget that's gonna say, you know what, that's gonna keep 40 to 50 people in the area, kids out of jail, whatever. So now you see 12-year-old, 13-year-old, you see them headed already to jail. We're not saying it because whatever too, because they don't got no guidance, and their mom is not saying their mom ain't doing their job. Their mom got 2 other kids to worry about, so they like, if you lost in the source, let me save the other 2. That's how the new parent is too now, right? You like, listen, man, I only know what I know, but I can only save 1 or 2 of y'all. One of y'all just gonna have to figure it out, and that's how everything with the young millionaires. It's sad, but. You know, and a lot of times they're not taught to do with their money. For you to be like, oh yeah, let's buy a building, whatever. So you gotta understand the back end of you're gonna have generational wealth, and it's gonna make you money for the long term. But if you tell somebody who's a millionaire, yo, yeah, take one of your $1 million, go buy a building, he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I'm not buying no building. I'm listen. I'm about to get this Maybach soon. What are you talking about? Yeah. Listen. You and your building dreams, okay? Do you got some buildings? That's the first thing. You know what I'm saying? They're only gonna respect a Jay-Z, like somebody, like even they can't even respect Kanye because Kanye's brain is kind of, you know what I'm saying?
We gotta reach the youth, right? Because they have opportunities that we've never had, and for us to close the wealth gap, us to get respect as a people, we gotta start making our money mean something. If our money. If all we doing is getting all this money and then giving it right back outside of our community, they'll never respect us. But that was a good episode. That's the end of it, fellas. I really appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Give your shout outs before we wrap it up.
Happy Thanksgiving to everybody this week. Be safe out there. And then, you know, regardless of what, just have a helping hand. Help each other out, especially in our community, because we losing the youth. And, you know, it's sad because I'm thankful, right? I got 2 older brothers and sisters to this day. I got my own situation going on, and I still listen to them every day. They tell me when I'm right, when I'm wrong, and I'm just thankful. So just try to get back.
Happy Thanksgiving. Black Friday sale coming. More flesh wear. Don't forget about it. Yeah. Website, IG. We're here.
Plug it out.
Yo, this was a great opportunity. I appreciate you guys. Yeah. I can't wait for the next time.
No, come back.
This
was
amazing, man. I really had a good time.
No, we're thankful for you to come. Like I said, shout out to to echo their sentiments. You know, happy Thanksgiving. You know, be thankful for having the opportunity to spend time with your family. You know, if you have a roof over your head, you have a job, you have money. You know, money in your pocket, a vehicle to get around. These are essentials that a lot of people don't have right now, and they're getting worse and worse. Be prepared for upcoming recessions and stuff like that. Live for more than just today. Live for tomorrow as well. You know what I'm saying? Be an inspiration for the people around you. You know, shout out to Open Shirt Poppy. We love him. He's in our thoughts. You know, he couldn't be here today, but he'll definitely be here in the next show, man. And we're just thankful. You know, we like I always say, we want to be a platform of the people. In 2023, we want you to be more fresh and you're more flesh.
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the movement, all right? All right, we out. Peace.